quick video update, since it's been almost a month since the last upload. So we are currently right now on E85. I plan on sharing some clips of my first reactions to this car on E85. It's actually nuts. It literally feels twice as fast as when I was on 93 octane at 10 psi with a turbocharger. So I asked my tuner how much power I'm at right now. It's not dynoed, but he said we're around 330 to 350 wheel horsepower. If you convert that to crank, that's almost 400 horsepower crank. So I could theoretically tell people this car is 400 horsepower, but realistically, let's say it has 330 wheel horsepower. This feels phenomenal. I think this is actually the sweet spot for these cars. I don't want any more power. This type of power on this type of car on twisty roads is really actually a handful. So first, let me tell you, how do we get on E85? So we installed new injectors, ID1050Xs by Bosch. Got those from CSG. Also purchased a flywheel Ptuning flywheel kit from CSG. And when you purchase those two things, they actually take away the extra tuning cost if you're going from 93 to E85, or flex fuel in this case. But I'll do a couple pulls real quick so you can see what it's like on E85. She's a little ripper. I know some people push it a little bit further and they'll push these things to actual 400 wheel horsepower. I'm not gonna do that because this is my only running car right now. This is the whip for now, and this has to get me to Miami for the holidays soon. But like I said, I just want to do a quick update on what the E85 feels like. It's phenomenal. Like I said, I don't want more power and I don't want less power. I think on 7 psi, I'm probably making around 300 wheel horsepower, and then on 10 psi, 50 wheel horsepower. You can feel it, man. Like, it definitely pulls you back in your seat much more than just being on 93 octane ever did. And on top of that, the car seems to be happier. It seems to run a bit better on E85. So currently, if we look at EcuTech Bluetooth app right now, we're at 78% ethanol. So I was actually tuned on 65% ethanol. But apparently I don't get much more gains above 65%. And my tuner said if we hit 80% to get a retune, just send them another log. But it's running great. I really can't complain. The concern is it's an FA20, right? So I'm always on top of maintenance. I actually check the oil level every time I drive this car. I'm probably a little bit obsessive about it, but at the end of the day, it's an FA20. And so we have to treat it as good as we possibly can. So that's what I've been doing. But in between treating it really good, we're kind of treating it bad by pushing it. But that's what I built it for. I built it so we could go fast, so we can have fun. Give you all a little pull. She rips, bro. And that was on 7 psi. That wasn't even on 10 psi. That was just 7. I'm not gonna say this is how it should come from the factory. I'm not a believer in that phrase for this car. I think what this car comes with from the factory is perfectly acceptable and actually perfect where it should be. A lot of people in the past have said, oh man, it should have come with a turbo. I think naturally aspirated 200 horsepower on this car, or now what the new cars have, 230 wheel horsepower, is really a really good spot. Once I get this to the track, it's going to be more difficult for me to learn, rather than if I had learned the car when it was naturally aspirated. Driving a slow car fast on the track will help you learn faster than a car with power, because power can kind of mask your mistakes. Regardless, I'm having a great time, bro. I love this car. I love the turbo. And yeah, man, that's all I got for this. I'll do a couple more pulls in this video. Like here, we'll go up to 85. Or sorry, we'll go up to 10 psi. There's 10 psi. She pulls, bro. God damn. Literally, the TCS comes on at a damn near 90 miles per hour. That's nuts, dude. Yeah, I fucking love this thing. It's sick, dude. Do a couple more so you can hear the car. this setup, it makes natural pops, which is cool. I actually don't have a map for pops and bangs. My tuner doesn't do that, so which is fine. You know, his response is, I'd rather make the car run well than not run well. Retarding your timing and making your engine make bangs in places where it's not supposed to is not the best thing for your car. And overall, my goal with this setup is reliability. I want this to last as long as possible because, as most of you, this is probably the biggest purchase I've ever made. This is the biggest purchase I've ever made, and all the mods I've done to it, it's a huge sacrifice on my end. I'm not super balling, like I have a steady job and I save my pennies and I live frugally, but I will say, man, this is a good setup. I'm really happy with where it's at right now. And basically, as far as power mods go, I'm done. I don't plan on pushing this car any further unless the engine pops, in which case I'll try to get a built motor and then probably push around 400 wheel. I think that's still the sweet spot for this car, and I don't really think I'd have as much fun if it had like 500 or 600 horsepower. At that point, it's just a drag car, and I'd rather have a little bit less power. And like I said in my previous video, I had just as much fun in the NA BRZ or 86 as I did in my turbocharged one on the twisty roads. If anything, I had maybe even a little bit more fun on the NA BRZ just because I could just push it harder. It just felt like I could just kind of ring it out even harder. Where with this car I have to hold back a bit, otherwise I'm going too hot into the corners. Yeah, man, those little pops, I don't know if you can hear them, but they're super satisfying, and it's nice to know that they're just natural. They're just a consequence of my exhaust setup, and they can't really be tuned out, which is super cool with me. I'm super happy with that, because I'm not gonna lie, I wanted the pops and bangs map, and it was kind of sad when I found out that my tuner won't do it. But I'm happy enough with that I have some natural pops here and there. Jesus Christ, bro. It's nuts. I feel bad. I'm sorry, y'all. These people, this car is so loud, dude. Oh, I'm pretty sure we just revved up to almost 8 grand. I have to check the footage. That was probably one of the highest I've ever revved this car. Holy shit. Heat level is like 1, but I'm not really cool with that. I'm trying to keep the heat level to 0. So far, I've not been pulled over in this car. I've not been given a ticket in this car. And knocking on Alcantara, that shit is not gonna happen. Try to be safe. But yeah, short video. If you enjoyed it, let me know. If you want to see more stuff like this, more one takes, let me know. Plan on doing a full video relatively soon outlining my thoughts on this turbo kit and the car. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.